Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Friday, July 15th, and the moon is in Aquarius. Yes. We have a couple of early morning aspects of the moon, a square to Uranus. And of course, we know that Uranus is very close to the North Node. Or if we don't know, I'm telling you, very close to the North Node. And, the 4 o'clocks bloomed over here, or one of them anyway. One of them that made it out from under the bush here. Yeah, so the moon makes a square to Uranus in Taurus, right? And the moon, of course, being in Aquarius, this is a last quarter crisis in consciousness square. The Uranus is conjunct the North Node, and so as the moon squares Uranus, it also squares its own nodes. There's the 4 o'clock right there. One lovely 4 o'clock. I don't know if there's any more under here. There's some kind of things coming up over here. There's gladiolas in here too, but sometimes they get eaten and they don't come back up. Oh, I see gladiolas. I have to cut this back. Anyway, we also have the moon in Aquarius making an inconjunct to the sun in Cancer. It's funny because Cancer is one of the more personalized, emotional, you're feeling your feelings kind of energy. And then, of course, Aquarius is mental, and it tends to be more detached, very objective. And so there's an interesting energy between Cancer and Aquarius. But it is to be said that they do, even though they're about total opposites in that respect, they need each other, because what Cancer does to Aquarius, it gives it heart and gives it feeling, and what Aquarius does for Cancer is it sort of pulls it out of its shell. It's interesting because the United States has a sun in Cancer and a moon in Aquarius. Okay, so we also have the moon making a conjunction to Saturn. That's occurring at 6:28 p.m. on the East Coast. You can change that for where you happen to live. Of course, that brings restriction. We feel restricted by that. But with the moon in Aquarius, it may feel more like structured than constricted. But certainly we can come up against authority with that combination. And then the last major aspect occurring is an inconjunct between Venus and Pluto. Venus in Gemini, the end of Gemini, Pluto, of course, at the end of Capricorn. This is a Virgo side inconjunct, so it is a sense of having to make a mental adjustment on something. And when we're dealing with Venus and Pluto, we often are dealing with relationship, especially obsessive or controlling relationships that have a shine of control. So making adjustments in perhaps how we think about those relationships are necessary. How we're going to move through those relationships could be necessary. Just, something to think about. So I want to point out, you see this very kind of airy, ferny-like stuff here. That's actually asparagus that has been allowed to just, not be cut down as asparagus. That's kind of what that looks like. And it's really pretty. It makes little berries and the like, but we do let some of it go to this. Unfortunately, this stuff in front of it is very invasive. Bittersweet, which we need to pull out of this because it's in the way of getting into this part of the garden. But yesterday, Michael and I went, and was that yesterday or the day before? I think it was. Either way, we went to the Cape, and he has a little place where he cuts down bamboo. It's not on anybody's land. It sort of outgrew, went past a fence in somebody's land. It's right at the side of the road, and he goes down and he cuts it down and he uses it. Then we use it for the garden as fencing and supports for things. And this is getting a little bit closer to done. Now that we have the bamboo to put the fencing up, we'll probably get into this today. Hopefully Mikey will get up early enough because it's really actually quite nice right now. Like, I would be willing to work in the garden right now, but as soon as the sun comes over those trees, man, it was achingly hot yesterday. But I'm not complaining because it's really the first time we've kind of had a heat wave where I live, and I know so many of you have suffered it, so I feel grateful and lucky that it's taken this long. But not too grateful and lucky when you're trying to garden in it or cut down bamboo or go get water or do all the other stuff, heavy lifting stuff that we have to do outside. Here's my elderberry getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's hard to tell what's the elderberry and what's the weeds, but the thing right in the middle is the elderberry. I do have to cut down some larger weeds, but maybe I'll go get the machete when I'm finished with this. Pumpkin's still happy to be alive. All right, guys. So stay safe. We're still, in a very challenging time. People are. There's a lot of planets out of bounds. I believe the moon is out of bounds. I think Mercury's out of bounds. And one other planet, I think. When planets are out of bounds. And what out of bounds means is that they're not within the normal, 17-degree ecliptic. They can sort of dip down, or I think they can actually also go above the ecliptic, considered out of bounds. And so they're not in their normal... they don't have the normal constraints on them. And so it does feel like, maybe people who should know better don't, and things that should not happen, that kind of thing. So just be aware of that. All right. Have yourself a great day. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone. Namaste.